it's getting dangerous. So it's getting dangerous during that time, and I left also at the beginning of that Guns N' Roses set because things started to get dangerous already. Rock, 1988. Yeah, welcome. You can hear some noise. Sounds like drag racing over there. This is Eastern Creek Raceway. This is Eastern Creek Raceway in west of Sydney, New South Wales, in Australia. Reason why I'm doing this video, it's a tribute to Alan Dick and Landon Siggers. It's been 35 years since the death of this 18-year-old and 20-year-old, and it's also a celebration of so 35 years we're looking at Monsters of Rock. I mean I'm not even there, but there's a reason why I'm here today. So, 35 years since the Monsters of Rock, 1988. Got a lot, everybody's got a story to tell about what happened on the day, and of course, what can you say about it? A great festival. Now it's known as the Download Festival, but back then Monsters of Rock started around about, I think, 1980 from memory. And when I went to my first gig. I think it was actually my first gig, and it was the first pretty much a big day out, the whole day pretty much, and that was at Donington Park in the UK. It's Monsters of Rock, 1988. I still remember the date. It was Saturday the 20th of August, and we're looking at, so 35 years to pretty much to this day. So wherever you're watching, welcome. Now, it was an excellent day. We all enjoyed it. I can tell you my little bits and pieces about it. As I said, I'm at Eastern Creek in Australia, so it's a completely different place altogether. But the reason why I'm here, the reason why I did come here, is because around, I think, now, the noise over there. Now, I'm going to put some, if I make some errors, I'm going to put some subtitles at the bottom so you can see, the mistakes I've made. So around 92, 93, Guns N' Roses came out in this area here, and they were at the top of their game at that time, and they released it would have been the Use Your Illusions album. I think that was a double album. Of course, the most popular, I think, was the Appetite for Destruction, and everybody was talking about this new band Guns N' Roses back in England in 87, 88. So everybody was talking about it, and I thought, who's this band, Guns N' Roses? Everyone was talking. So we had to go, and everybody had to go and see them. It was just this thing. It's like, you could say it was a bit like when Nirvana was really big. So anyway, the main reason for me to go to this show was Iron Maiden, and I wanted to see Iron Maiden, in the flesh. And I think that would have been for the first time. That would have been for the first time because they did some gigs after, and we didn't know about that. They just announced them on the day. But so in there in a cab going up from Croydon, southeast London, all the way up to Donington. I don't really remember much of the train trip, but when we got there, we took the cab all together. It was about, it must have been about 4 or 5 of us, I think, and we all trekked that way in the taxi. And I remember going over this big hill, and I saw this castle. I goes, Castle Donington. And I remember seeing that when I was sitting in the back, and I saw this big castle. And yeah, it's exciting. It was all good, exciting times. I was only 18 then, and there's a majority of people there that were in their early, school leavers, 18 to, mostly I saw like 18 to 35-year-olds or something. But a lot of people, and this would have been Iron Maiden's biggest gig in the history of, I don't know if they topped that, because there were on that day 108,000 people. I had my ticket. I even remember buying my ticket. I think it was months prior to the show. So I got my ticket from Orders of Croydon. You go into this little mall, and they used to have this little ticket office there where you buy the tickets. So I still got the little ticket stub or whatever you call them, and it's got the image of Monsters of Rock there, all in colourful letters and everything. So anyway, so we arrived there, and huge place. I've never been to any place like this before, and I was only young, so this would have been, I was just ready to see Iron Maiden. We also heard about Helloween, so I kind of did hear about them, although I wasn't a fan just yet of this band. Helloween I didn't know of much, but I was interested in seeing Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden. So a lot of people, just people everywhere, tents, you name it, and it was really exciting times. And I listened to radio the day before, and they said people were camping out to see Iron Maiden at Monsters of Rock, Castle Donington. It's going to be one of their best gigs ever, biggest. They released the album Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, most popular album probably to date at that time. So very, very good times then. Guns N' Roses released Appetite for Destruction. Megadeth released If Pete Sells, Who's Buying. Sorry about the shaky camera. I've just stuck it on a branch. It's the best I could do. Who else was there? There was... Yeah, Kiss released, I think it would have been at that time, Creatures of the Night, I think, album. Possible, yeah. Although I wasn't a big Kiss fan, but kind of interested in seeing them without their makeup. But like I said, I'm not a huge Kiss fan, and I'm not one to go for them, especially after, some bickerings between Gene Simmons and Ronnie James Dio is a top bloke. Ronnie James Dio is a top bloke, and it's a shame he's not here with us anymore, because of course he did the thing on the Holy Diver. But all this thing between Gene Simmons saying, "Oh, I invented the devil's sign," and all this, that's a load of crap. You don't need that. You don't need that at all. So let's move that aside and go back to so the day started. I remember the music. I remember the Bailey brothers were there. Bailey brothers, who introduced the bands. I was expecting Tommy Vance, but he wasn't there because he was there the year before. But something happened there where I don't know. Something happened along the way in the previous Monsters of Rock. I don't know the story behind that one, but Bailey brothers were there. I've met them, said hello to them as well. Met them at the London Hippodrome following the gigs there at Donington. But anyway, they introduced the first band, Helloween, and we were up there, like my friends and I, like 5 of us, as I said, up pretty much up the front, very close to the front. Now, the arrangement of the staging arrangement was pretty bad at the time, and the way that they'd organised it wasn't good, because you had the stage down here, and then you had the it's kind of on a bit of a hill, really, where everybody or the audience were standing. There's nowhere you can't sit down, really. You have to stand up, and it was raining on and off, so there was a bit of rain here and there. So we was watching Helloween. I haven't heard them before. It's the first time I think UK had heard Helloween, and I think it was their very first gig was at Donington. So and it's top performance. We had a bit of trouble in the where people were swaying too much, and so I shouted to the friends of mine. I said, look, I did say to them that we can meet like a point like later on, but we had a lot of trouble where we were just all pretty much falling on top of each other, and if you lost your balance, you just fall down. So I shouted to my friends. I said, look, I'm getting out of here, because you're going to be in trouble. We'll be in trouble here. So I got out of there and I moved around the back. I could see a couple of ambulances and things along the side. So I moved right up to the back and watched the band from there. And I just looked at what was going on down there. I thought, yeah, these guys are crazy, but they're just here to see the band. You know, these people are jumping on top of each other. It's the first time I've seen that type of thing, people jumping on top of each other. They just want to probably get to the front, or it's just one of those, it's a surfing thing that they call it. It's that surfing thing, people just jump, you know, and then they do that sort of thing. I can't say too much about security, because I think they probably tried to do their job, and it was very hard to see what was actually going on down there. So things just throughout the day just got a little bit worse. Megadeth came on, and they were from memory they were good, because I do like Dave Mustaine, since he was with previously Metallica. Also there was so there was also, I think David Lee Roth came on before Guns N' Roses. I'm not sure which way round, just trying to remember. And it was around about 1-2 o'clock-ish, Guns N' Roses came on. I really wanted to see them. Everybody wanted to see them. And there's a lot of rushing going to the front. Everybody just rushing to the front. Everybody just pushing. So a lot of pushing at the back. I'm looking behind me, there's a lot of idiots just pushing at the back, throwing bottles all over the place. And it's getting dangerous. So it's getting dangerous during that time. And I left also at the beginning of that Guns N' Roses set, because things started to get dangerous already, and I was watching from the back. And I was also watching from the back, I think it was David Lee Roth probably came on after Guns N' Roses. Can't remember which one was which. But there was a lot of trouble during the Guns N' Roses set. And unfortunately there was a lot of incidents, and things you can probably look up online, some documents that have been handed over to the local council in regards to the planning of the Monsters of Rock festival. So unfortunately we lost some lives that day and during that set, but it didn't take me away. I tried not to let it take us away from, so we didn't know what was going on during that time. There was a lot going on. I moved away from whatever was going on there, and just people falling over each other, and the only thing was holding your hands or arms out like this was to keep you safe from falling down. Because there were a couple of times where it was you're on a slippery slope, and if you had fallen down, that would have been it. But anyway, the Guns N' Roses set was good. It was just there was a lot of interruptions there, because good on Axl Rose for stopping. He had to, because of the things that were going on at that time. So he was telling people to step back, and so they stopped their set for a few moments. Now I can't say much for David Lee Roth, because he ignored the security, and I remember security guards going up to him, probably trying to stop the show. Something happened. Something definitely happened, and I remember seeing blood. I remember seeing more ambulances. It wasn't a good sight. So we tried to forget about what happened there, but yeah, that was a bad situation to be in. So anyway, during the Kiss set, it was a little bit more calmer. People, there's a lot of pushing going on still from behind, even though I was watching Kiss and waiting for Iron Maiden. And when Bruce Dickinson came on in the evening, he did say that there were some instances that happened. When Bruce Dickinson came on, he did say that there were some incidents that happened on that day, and he didn't go into it too much. But although Donington was a good show, it was sad that we lost two people. It's just not something that we want to know or hear about. And being there, yes, it was good. I enjoyed seeing the bands, but being in that situation was hard. And it was. And the reason, as I said, why I'm here is because I saw Guns N' Roses here at this very place after. Because not only do I like Guns N' Roses, but I thought that I'll see them, because when I saw them last time, there were some situations that I wasn't happy with, and things happened at that time, and but they were excellent when they were here in Australia, and the gig was excellent. It's like something like a 2-hour show, maybe longer. But even when the band members reflect on that, Donington, it's not their fault at all. It's not their fault at all. It's the people that were pushing from the back, the crowds. It was wet as well, so people were slipping up all over the place. And if you did slip up, you got to try and get up, and people would try and help you up as well. But some of these situations were pretty bad, and something you don't want to be in when you're trying to enjoy yourself or seeing the show. But Donington, Monsters of Rock, yeah, it's good. After the gig, I think it's something like 10:30 or 11, Iron Maiden completed their set, and that was like almost, I think that was about 2 hours almost as well after they finished their set. A great set. Part of the screen fell down as well, but that didn't matter to me. It was just seeing the band there, and we were all happy to see the band. I think it was about 10:30 or 11. Somehow we had to get home. So all these buses and all these people were trying to get home. And I remember I thought, let's just wait a bit. I met up with one of the friends. I just thought, well, let's wait a little bit and see what goes on. So I remember we teamed up at the. So there were no mobile phones back then. You can't really, communicate. So we just had. We just communicated and said, look, we'll meet you in such and such. when the whole thing's finished. I was pretty much on my own when I was seeing Iron Maiden, because the crowds were that crazy and going all over the place that yeah, you just had to watch it on your own. So yeah, on leaving, met the friend at the station there, the train station, and look, the last train was gone. That was it. The last train was gone. Couldn't get back into London. So I thought, oh, how do we do this then? So we thought we'd have a walk and see if we can find a place. And it's absolutely hideous. No one, I don't think, there were not many people that got home that night. There were so many still out in the streets there trying to get home. So there was a little motel or some lodges or something, I remember. And these people were sleeping all over the floor of these hotel receptions. And I went to this woman, I went to the hotel reception. I said, do you have any rooms? No. She goes, no, full up. No. Okay, obviously, number one, she probably didn't care. Or number two, she didn't want to see, these people with long hair, heavy metal fans. Anyway, but these people were sleeping all over the floor. And I thought, look, if they're sleeping all over the floor, we can sleep on the and sit down. So we sat down and slept as much as we could. And then when it was time to wake up in the morning, and I remember the news at 10. There's a late news. I think it was like a bulletin or something, and they said that 2 people got killed at the Monsters of Rock festival. There was an announcement which my family had seen back home in London. They'd seen it, what was going on, and there's no communication. I can't call them. Oh, I could have called them, but we didn't have mobile phones then. It was just a lot going on. So I should have made a phone call at least, but I mean, yeah, you get these, your family worried about what happened, and I didn't contact them. I just remember the next day walking into the alleyway coming up to the house, and I thought, oh, this is it now. So I remember that. It was like a train trip in the morning and back home. But yeah, we slept there in a hotel reception with other people all over the floor. Like, these were people all over the floor. Everybody, because they couldn't get home, but it just tired from watching the bands. And that hotel receptionist couldn't say anything because there were that many people and they couldn't sleep anywhere. So we just had to sleep there. So we all did that. And all in all, Monsters of Rock was good. If only it was organised in a better way, it would have been good. But hey, we did enjoy the day, but this show goes out to, tribute to Alan Dick and Landon Siggers, who passed away on that day, and to and to their families as well. But this is 35 years on now, and you try to move on from these things. It's very hard, but in a way I feel, you feel the spirit of these things sometimes, and it's always it's good to think about these people, because these were true rock fans that wanted to see these bands. So there we were, Monsters of Rock, enjoying the show. But yeah, this is basically, in a way, a celebration of 35 years of Monsters of Rock, 1988. Although I'm down here in Australia, where I had seen and caught up with Guns N' Roses in the 90s when they came here, early 90s. And that was a big show then. But yeah, this is also a tribute to the 2 that passed away. And they won't be forgotten. And I don't know if anybody else has made any videos on this, but just thought I'd put it out there because that, you know, me being 18, that was a highlight, you know, of me seeing so many bands all in one day. Yes, a tragic loss as well. You know, but what can we say? What can we say? It's just to those people that were pushing and pushing from behind. They were doing the wrong thing, and it's not funny. You know, they were all having a laugh or God knows whatever else up behind you. You just had to protect yourself, and that's a tough situation. Yeah. But anyway, once again, this is Sonny, Monsters of Rock, 1988.